Hello, I'm Emma Hammett, the founder of First Aid for Pets and First Aid for Life, and the author of First Aid for Dogs. Today I'm going to do a very brief review as to when your dog is seriously ill or hurt and when you should be taking them to the vet. Obviously the decision will vary from case to case, but we'd strongly advise that the following list of injuries and signs and symptoms and things are serious, and you should be taking your pet to the vet if you see any of the following. So if your pet isn't breathing or is struggling for breath or breathing in a strange way, they clearly need to get to a vet as quickly as possible. If they're not breathing, then you can most certainly try CPR. And we've got various other videos and information about how to do that, or you can come and join one of our courses and we'll show you exactly what to do. If they have a severe injury that's bleeding profusely and you're unable to stop it with direct pressure, then you need to get your pet to the vet as quickly as possible, because that blood loss will be serious. Always phone the vet in advance and tell them that you're coming. And think about how you're going to transport your pet as well to the vet. So quite often, things like road traffic accidents, you might use the back of the parcel shelf of your car I can't think of the word, in order to scoop them up carefully without damaging their spines, and very carefully get them into the back of the car without damaging them any further. Or you might have a transporting cage or case that they're comfortable and happy and used to, or their own towel or blanket that again is comfortable for them and it's familiar to them. Okay, so think about how you can best transport an ill or a sick or an injured pet if you need to get them to the vet. Okay, so we've talked about breathing in a strange way or not breathing at all. If they have a severe injury and they're bleeding profusely, if they're unconscious or unaware of what's going on around them, then get them to the vet. There's clearly something very wrong, and get them to the vet as an emergency. If they're having a severe allergic reaction, and it's an all-over systemic type reaction, if it's just that their paw has swollen up where they've been stung or something, then that's a localized reaction, and you can phone your vet and get advice, but you may not necessarily need to rush them down there. But if they're having a systemic reaction, then that's very serious, and you will need to get them seen as an emergency. If they're burnt, or their skin is visibly damaged or blistered, so if a hot cup of coffee's been spilt on them or something and they've been injured from that, then they should have immediate first aid treatment, so cool running water to cool that burn, and then they should be seen by a vet as quickly as possible. If they've fallen from a height, or they've been hit by a car or been hit by something at force, be very careful how you move them. As I said before, so parcel shelf can be quite useful to very carefully roll them onto that without twisting their spine, but you need to get them to the vet as quickly as possible, moving their spine as little as possible, and being very aware that they may have had a head injury as well. So a head or a spinal injury, they need to be seen quickly at the vets. If you suspect they might have drunk antifreeze from a puddle, or some rat poison or any other poisonous substance, whether they are showing signs or symptoms of having done so, you should get them seen by a vet. The same goes for chocolate. So if there is anything missing or any signs that they've been scavenging around and eating something that isn't good for them, get advice from the vet and get them to the vet as quickly as possible, even if they're not showing signs or symptoms. If they have severe abdominal pain, a bloated stomach, and are attempting to vomit, they're bringing up sort of white foam, this could be a sign of bloat, gastric dilation volvulus, GDV, and that's extremely dangerous and potentially fatal. So if you see any signs like that, get them to a vet immediately. If they have an extremely high or low temperature, it's likely to be a veterinary emergency too. You know, a little bit raised up or down is within the realms of normal, but sort of above 40, 42 or is seriously high, or when it's very low, you need to get them seen quickly. If your pet has an eye injury, that's very serious for them, and for some pets as well, their eye can actually come out. Seriously, that needs to be seen very quickly. You need to keep the eyeball moist with something as sterile as you possibly got and transport them to the vet as quickly as possible. All bite wounds should be checked by a vet, and they should be cleaned and dressed by a vet as well, and your pet may well need antibiotics. Bites are dirty. Deep wounds should always be properly cleaned and dressed in a sterile environment by a vet. And if your dog has recovered from a near drowning experience, so they've been sort of semi-conscious in the water, they should be seen and checked out by a vet, because they can suffer from secondary drowning afterwards. So even if they make a full recovery, you need to get them checked out. And if they have a seizure, even if they seem to have made a full recovery, it's very sensible to get them checked out. Again, it's not necessarily an emergency to get them there, but get them checked out by a vet. I hope that's been useful for you. That's Emma Hammett from First Aid for Pets. Many thanks.